3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to Grounds After Rounds.
5, 4, 3. Welcome, folks, to Grounds After Rounds. It is, October 29th, 21, to time always throws me off. We're joined today. Eric had a complication or a conflict, scheduling conflict, no big deal. So we organized and arranged a new guest, not Eric. You may have been confused by the hat. I know, like, we're wearing the same hat. You know, Eric does wear that hat from time to time. So a little bit, not confusing so much of, but Eric's not that orange. I mean, and distinctly more handsome. This is our friend, the Great Magic Pumpkin. Or maybe it's just the Great Pumpkin. It's just the Great Pumpkin. If any of you folks from the Charlie Brown series thought maybe we would, get a little festive. It's Halloween. People like to get pumpkins. My boys, my sons, picked up this one. They got another one, a little too bumpy and like weird, more gourdish than pumpkin. Oh, are pumpkins a gourd? I don't know. Again, there's going to be a lot of information available to you in this week's episode, which, if you were wondering, is definitely espresso shot. Going to be under probably 15 minutes, maybe closer to like 20. For you to comment and inform me. But gourds, same as pumpkins? Are they all squashes? What vegetable family? And you may see a visit from Charlie down here on my right. His little head poking up and down because he'd like his walk right now, but he ain't getting it till we're done. This week's espresso shot, we are going to talk about a couple things. First, we're going to talk about the lift, move, work competition that is happening via CrossFit. Off season, about 4 months out from the open, and CrossFit has released a very simple 3-part event that is a one-day competition, though they're letting it run for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I think you could register as early as Monday of this week, maybe last week, and you'll be able to register up until Monday of next week. Go to CrossFit.com and you'll see the lift, move, work. You can also do it via the link that Eric posted on SugarWide. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit about why that might be a fun thing to sign up for, my theory on what it is and what CrossFit I think is attempting to do with this workout or this sort of little mini one-day competition, and what it is in relationship to what they did during the virtual games, what purpose it's serving. And then I got a couple jokes. My gourd friend here will help me out to close out with some jokes and then a basic gratitude. So sort of the same structure, just you get all me, just Jack. Oh, sorry, Mr. Pumpkin Man. Yeah, so it's kind of like Castaway. This is my Wilson, except his name isn't Wilson. And I'm game for Jimmy Fallon style with the panda. We can come up with some names. So start brainstorming, leave us some comments. Send us a DM on the Instaface and the Snapgram, chat, TikTok, tack, yak thing. I don't know. And let us know, what should we name this pumpkin? He probably is only, and I keep saying he, maybe it's a she. I don't know. I don't want to impose upon you those artificial constructs that society feels it needs to in the effort of sustaining the false power of the patriarchy. I mean, it's a pumpkin. It can be whatever it wants. Anyway, it's got a cool hat. We're ready to rock and roll. Lift, move, work. What's going on? 3-part event that will be happening on Friday in the gym. It's happening worldwide, basically this whole time. You sign up, it's $10, ladies and gentlemen, $10. And you can sign up if you want to. You don't have to. When you sign up, kind of cool, you can also spend 30 more bucks, get yourself a t-shirt. 3 parts. First 4 minutes are going to be a 1 rep max clean. So you have 4 minutes to establish the heaviest clean you can in those 4 minutes. Time, no extra time. Clock goes beep, beep, beep. You're done at those 4 minutes. Then a 2-minute rest and transition, at which point you then have 4 minutes to get as many bar muscle ups as possible. 2-minute rest, and then it is a 8-minute, 6-minute, 8-minute AMRAP, 8-minute AMRAP of shoulder to overhead. I think it's shoulder to overhead. It might be jerk. I'm pretty sure it's shoulder to overhead of 50-pound, 35-pound dumbbell, shoulder to overhead, 50-pound, 35-pound dumbbell. I think it's 8 reps. 8 burpees over that dumbbell, and then some double unders. I totally should have written these down. I have my notes over here in the corner. Let's take a second. I want to put out good information. I don't want to lead you all astray. And then you're like, well, I don't want to do that. So here we go. Oh, that's the Off the Creek version. We're not doing Off the Creek. I don't want to hear Austin. No big deal. There's Jim Gaffigan about to start talking to me. Okay, so 4 minutes, 1 rep max clean, 4 minutes bar muscle up, 8-minute AMP, 2 minutes rest, 2 minutes rest, 8-minute AMRAP, 30 double unders. Fun. So it starts with the dubs. 8 single arm dumbbell push press. Good to know. Not a jerk. Single arm dumbbell push press. The other arm, single arm dumbbell push press. 8 lateral dumbbell burpees. So you're jumping over the dumbbell laterally, not facing. But here's the fun part of this lift move work. The lift part being the lift of the lift move work. The move part being gymnastic pulling movement, and the work part being a basic CrossFit couplet, triplet. We'll say it's a triplet because it's dubs, it's a weightlifting, and then it's a gymnastics with the burpees. So though that push press is 2 movements because it's 1 arm and the other arm, it's the same movement. You're just going 1 and 1. So classic CrossFit triplet right about that 8-minute mark. Oh, absolutely horrible, absolutely wonderful fitness. Like I said, we're going to be doing it in the gym. The lift move work competition, which is pretty cool, has 3 main tracks that you can pick. So if you pick track 1, you're going to do it the way I described it. If you pick track 2, it's a little bit different. I think the clean is still the clean. The bar muscle ups are chest to bar pull-ups. And I think the movement is still the same. I think it's singles, a lighter weight, and still burpees. And then track 3, again, another scaled version. So think open, RX, scaled, and then I think they called it foundation, maybe. Same idea, 3 tracks that you can pick. And if you pick a track, you stay that track all the way through. So if you track 1, it's track 1 all the way through. If it's track 2, it's track 2 all the way through. If it's track 3, it's track 3 all the way through. And then they also have adaptive versions, which is quite awesome. $10 to register. What does registering get you? Well, here's the deal. If we take a time machine back to July, CrossFit ran the virtual games. Those of us that, I don't know why, for some reason did not make the games this year. I know, right? I've been working on it. My nutrition was dialed in. This guy over here giving me a hard time about not making the games at 44. Whatever, dude. You don't even have any arms. The virtual games was an opportunity for those of us at home to follow along relatively real time with the athletes out in Madison as they got the workouts and completed them. It was 10 workouts. You knew the first 2 a couple days beforehand. They released the next 4 or maybe 3 about a day or 2 in. Then they released another couple, and then they released the last ones. And you had up until the Monday after the games were over to complete and log your scores. You can video if you want. What I noticed, which was very interesting, was it was a whole new interface to the competition, meaning was a new website. It did not go through games.crossfit.com. It went through this different, I don't know anything about programming, whatever, but it was a totally new site. Looked different. It was slimmer, cleaner, less kind of bells and whistles. The way that the workouts were pushed to you came via email, and then you could go and get specifics. The specifics were much cleaner and much more, much easier to find on the site itself. When logging and filtering, you had different options of logging and filtering. There were still some hiccups, like every time you would go in, you'd have to go in through one site and then it would link you to another, and then you would actually get to the page. So it was a little bit cumbersome in that sense. And it was $50. And for $50, you competed. And if you logged all your scores, you got access or a code to WIT, which is the new, I think the actual merchant provider for CrossFit Inc. You got a code, you went to WIT, you paid a $5 shipping and handling fee to get your free t-shirt that you paid $50 for. No, you paid $50 to compete to get a free t-shirt that you paid $5 shipping and handling for. So there was a little bit of like growing pains. Here's the deal though. I was super impressed. A, with the programming, it was awesome. B, with the ease of getting at stuff. And C, with just the fun kind of, it felt very competition-ish. And then when the t-shirt came, it said virtually a games athlete. I thought that was kind of funny. Little play on words there by CrossFit. So lift, move, work, same site, same kind of setup, new filters. You can filter by age, you can filter by country, you can filter by state, you can filter by weight class, though not an actual like component of if I win the 44 age group, whatever, under 165 or 165 to 225, which seemed like a really big window, right? I'm not the same size as a guy who was 225 pounds, but if I'm 172 pounds, you're in the same window as things as 225. So whatever, a lot of room for, but it's the first time ever CrossFit has acknowledged, outside of when they did the something similar where it was like a lifting competition, then like a CrossFit thing, you combine the scores. They are opening the door for different categorization of athletes to see kind of what happens. This seems to be in line with things that CrossFit is doing, which is they are on board with what I learned is termed the MVP, minimum viable product, that they're pushing out something which is not prime time, which is not no bugs, nothing that, which they've always been. If you take my other time machine back to 2011, the first online open was a train wreck of technology. The release videos were hilarious. Tony Budding in this garage, gym setup thing in some, Colorado house or, Northern California house. And I think they had, what's his face? Comedy guy, doing the workout with somebody and like not even finishing. So they've always been a minimum viable product kind of company where they're willing to push out something before it's ready for prime time, because they know that the community, A, will tolerate it, and B, will figure it out and give feedback and say, hey, that stunk, let's try this. And they'll implement it. They'll also give you the finger when they're like, no, we don't like that, we're going to do it our way. But hey, that's the nature of the business and always has been. This seems in line with that, but with a eye towards the new goal or a revamped goal of being as inclusive as possible. A lift, a gymnastics movement, and a CrossFit type of thing within 20 minutes with a warm-up, skill and development session, the workout, and enough time to high five, log your scores and whatever. On a Friday, normal day in the gym, we can, with $10 of our money, one trip to Starbucks with a friend where you treat, less than a trip to Philly in the car and the tolls that it would cost to get there. You can sign up and see where you're at 4 months out from the open amongst the other, say 30 or 40%, of the CrossFitters around the world. Because I would guess that's probably what they're going to get. They probably get about, let's say there's 13,000 plus affiliates. 30% of those participate. That's about 4,500 affiliates. Let's say each of those affiliates has, 100 members. That's 450,000 people that are doing this, or that feasibly could sign up. If they get 100,000 people to sign up, that's 25% of those participating, or those less. You understand what I'm saying? That was too much math. I lost myself in my numbers. Here's the deal. I think it's worth it. I think if you're on the fence of whether I should do this, I think you should do it. It allows for you to practice the open. The open is different than what we do 90%, 99% of the year in the gym. But it's also a time of the year when we get to test, or at least just see where we are. There's worth in that. There's worth in having something to look forward to, having something that makes you a little bit nervous, having something to test the methodology that you spend the rest of the year putting your time and effort and money into to see if it works. If you don't do as well in 1 year's open compared to another year, that might not mean that that doesn't mean that the methodology necessarily doesn't work. You might be in a lull. You may be sick. Maybe you've had a rough couple of months. Maybe things aren't quite the way they were the year before. Maybe you were pregnant. Maybe you had a bad knee. Maybe you're, I don't know, fill in the blank life. It is a single data point. But over the course of, say, 5 to 6 to 7, 12 years of doing it, you have a series of data points that if they continue to track up, that means the methodology is working. So over the aggregate of testing once a year, yourself amongst your peers in the gym, yourself, your peers, and your larger cohort around the world, there's something to that. So testing that test from time to time in a single day event, why not? It's good practice. It's good practice for the open to remind ourselves that this is kind of fun. If we were a running club, we'd sign up for 5Ks. If we were a triathlon club, we would register for a couple races. This is the equivalent of that for us. If you plan on doing the open, it's good practice. But here's the deal. If you plan on doing the open, this is the second time they've used the same interface. They're probably going to use it for the open. I highly doubt they're going to shit can this whole thing and just go with something new. I know, right? If anything, they're a pretty rational, logical company. I know, I hear you. And they'll probably use it. So Pumpkin Man, he got himself a login. He has an account. He's going to do it in the adaptive version. This is going to get weird and dark. No arms, no legs. I get, yeah. So he's going to make sure that he has a login so that when it comes time for the open, it's a piece of cake. You do it on your phone remembers the password because it's Apple. If you don't have Android, I don't know what you're doing. You do it on your computer, whatever. You've got an account. It can be the same account that you used for your open login at games.crossfit.com, but it could be something totally different. So, hey, if nothing else, pay $10 to set up your account. I don't want to go on Friday. I'm going to be traveling. Well, guess what? Maybe this is a great excuse to sign up and do it Thursday, or talk to one of your coaches and do it Monday. We're not going to program it on Monday, but it's 20 minutes. We could fit it in on a Saturday or Sunday. Loop back. Things we do in the open. We make sure that we prioritize our time so that we can fit the workout in and get that score recorded and logged. Practice for the open of rededicating your schedule around this one day, hey, there's something to that. Maybe you go to bed a little bit earlier. Maybe you decide to eat something a little bit cleaner. Maybe you drink a little bit more water. If you're really, really sore after Tuesday's workout or Monday's squats or whatever, Monday's lifting, maybe Wednesday becomes a slightly easier day. Those types of things, this is worth practicing and seeing how it goes for you. It gives Friday that sense of meaning or purpose. It gives, there's something fun to that. It's a little outside the norm and it's just different. And I find it enjoyable to create those little artificial constructs in my life from time to time that break up the monotony and keep you from getting burned out. I'm like, this is, you gotta work out, you gotta go to the gym. Not that I ever see that from anybody. I mean, or myself. And hey, you have to pick a track. It makes you commit. Where are you in your fitness? You can do the clean, but you can't do bar muscle ups. Well, guess what? Track one might not be for you. You can do the clean and you can do bar muscle ups, but you can't push press that dumbbell load, or you don't have double unders. There's all kinds of things in here that are going to be the long pole in the tent to drive you to having to pick a track that you have to stay on throughout all three of the parts of the workout or of the event. That's kind of interesting because that might be the thing that over the course of the next 4 months, you put your effort and energy into doing a little accessory work so that when that thing shows up in the open, it's gonna come. Double unders, they're coming. Shoulder to overhead with some sort of load, it's coming. Pulling from a bar, be it chest to bar pull-ups, ring or regular pull-ups, not ring rows, but the ring rows is one of the tracks. Bar muscle ups, they're probably coming. Gives you some time to work on it. This is a nice little not as far long as I thought I was. So the accountability and the agency of having to pick a track, also very good practice for this thing called the open. And hey, it's fun, but I get it. If this type of thing is not you and you don't want to register for it, but you're like, I still want to come to class, is there still going to be something? Yes, there's still going to be something for you to do. It's called the workout. We're all going to do it. Just come. You can just come move, and you can vary and scale and modify your version of that to whatever you want because it's still CrossFit. It's infinitely scalable and modifiable for you. Shit, you can still even register, still modify it and scale it all you want, and just score yourself 1 pound. If you clean 1 pound off the ground, if you clean the PVC pipe, done. You got a clean rep. You can put a score in. You're good to go. That's Friday, folks. This is going out a day early. So this will be released tomorrow, it's Wednesday now, Thursday, to kind of prime this. So if you come and do the workout on Friday and you haven't registered, don't worry about it because guess what? You have till Monday to register and until 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to get your score in. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. That's it. That is my espresso shot, joined by the great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. But before I exit out and say adios to y'all, I thought maybe we would do some pumpkin themed jokes. He's got a ton of them. He loves them. Says not a lot of people appreciate his humor, but I am one of those people who does. So I thought maybe we'd run through a couple. These are some of his top faves. So what do you get when you drop a pumpkin? Squash. There's the answer. Is it squash or gourd? It's squash. What's a pumpkin's favorite movie? Wait for it. Pulp Fiction. Why was the jack-o'-lantern afraid to go outside at night? Had no guts. What do you get if you divide the circumference of a pumpkin by its diameter? Circumference by diameter? Pumpkin pie! Oh my God, I'm so excited for this game. I love pumpkin pie. Why did the pumpkin take a detour? To avoid the seedy part of town. What did the pumpkin say to its carver? Hey, cut it out. Get it? Carver, cut it out. How did the CrossFit pumpkin fix its ripped hands? With a pumpkin patch. And that's it. That's all I got. I thought I had another one, but that was the last one. I should have known because it's a CrossFit based one. All right. I am grateful this week for pumpkin jokes, fall leaves, love the trees changing, and they look like they are going to be bright this year. And all things pumpkin spice and that nice early crisp fall mornings makes it a little bit tougher to warm up for those creaky joints, but man, I'm loving it. And that moon has been awesome. So I think basically I am just grateful for fall. I'm grateful for Mr. Pumpkin here who joined me on today's journey of Grounds After Rounds. And we will see you. We will see you. We'll see you on the creek.